Part 1, The Last Voyage. Setting the scene, October-November 1913. The Industrial Titan, Chicago and Duluth. The world. The U.S. is at the zenith of the progressive era. Industry is king. Iron ore from the Mesabi Range fuels the steel mills of Pittsburgh, which are building the skyscrapers of the world. The ship. Introduce the SS Argus, a typical Laker, a large, steel-hulled bulk freighter. It represents the height of industrial efficiency and the dangerous nature of the trade. The crew. Focus on a few key characters. Captain Elias Vance, a seasoned, stoic veteran of the lakes, respected but haunted by a past near disaster, driven to make one last big run before retirement. Thomas "Tommy" Keller, a young, ambitious deckhand from Detroit, saving money to attend university, representing the American dream. He struggles with the brutality of life on the water. Chief Engineer Mac McDowell, a skeptical, highly skilled Scottish immigrant who mistrusts the cutting-edge yet untested wireless telegraph equipment on board. The cargo. Argus loads a massive cargo of iron ore pellets in Duluth, bound for the smelters near Detroit. The pressure to complete the run before the official closing of the shipping season is immense. Portents and promises. The departure. The weather. Early signs of the unusual, volatile weather. The late season has been unusually mild, breeding complacency, but the atmosphere feels charged. The rivalry. Introduce a subplot involving a competing shipping magnate, potentially a former business partner of Captain Vance, who cut corners on safety for profit. This sets up a theme of corporate greed versus human cost. The radio buzz. The Argus is one of the few ships equipped with the new wireless telegraph. A sense of modern marvel and false security pervades the crew. They receive scattered, confusing reports of severe gales on Lake Superior and Michigan, but nothing to warrant a full stop. The information is there, but the interpretation is flawed.
Part 2. The Witch of November, the Storm and the Mystery. The Unprecedented Fury, Lake Huron, November 9th to 10th, 1913. The event, the Great Lakes Storm of 1913, begins. Historically, this was the most destructive storm in Great Lakes history, an inland hurricane that killed over 250 people and destroyed a dozen ships. The struggle. The Argus is caught in the maelstrom on Lake Huron. The narrative shifts to an intense survival tale. Waves documented as 35 feet high, wind speeds over 90 miles per hour. The ship's steering fails. Captain Vance makes a desperate choice to turn the vessel into the wind or waves, a maneuver fraught with risk. The wireless operator sends fragmented, garbled distress signals. Historical note, the Argus's last actual transmission was vague, adding to the mystery. The vanishing. Sometime late on November 9th or early on November 10th, the Argus is completely lost. Other passing ships, blinded by the blizzard conditions, see nothing. The search efforts in the immediate aftermath are fruitless. The riddles of the debris, post-storm. The aftermath. When the storm clears, a scene of devastation is revealed. Beaches are littered with wreckage. The baffling discovery. Searchers find a lifeboat from the Argus, but it is perfectly intact and shows no sign of having been used. It's a ghostly calling card left on the shore. Why did the crew not use it? Did the ship go down too fast? The personal toll. Tommy Keller's fiancée, Clara, begins her own long, arduous search for information, dealing with the callousness of the shipping company and the government's indifference. She becomes the central character for the historical investigation.
Part 3. Unearthing the Truth. The modern investigation, the sonar search, modern day, 1980s or 90s. The revival. Introduce a modern protagonist, Dr. Anya Sharma, a marine archaeologist obsessed with the ghost ships of the 1913 storm. She represents the scientific rigor and historical passion of the American audience. The technology. Dr. Sharma uses new side-scan sonar technology to systematically search the graveyard of the Great Lakes, a historically accurate area of Lake Huron. The discovery. After years of work, she locates the wreckage of the Argus. It lies nearly intact on the bottom, perfectly preserved by the cold, deep freshwater. The final revelation, the wreck site. The dive. Dr. Sharma and her team make a dangerous series of dives. They explore the preserved interior. The clues. What they find solves the century-old mystery. The cargo shift. The ore was improperly loaded, perhaps rushed by the rival company's pressure, making the ship top-heavy. The engine room. Evidence of a catastrophic mechanical failure, perhaps related to Mac's earlier misgivings about the new engines, which stopped the forward momentum and left the ship vulnerable to the massive waves. The final logbook, a preserved waterlogged logbook entry from Captain Vance, detailing the final moments and his acceptance of their fate, explaining why they didn't have time for the lifeboats. The conclusion, the Argus didn't simply sink. It was betrayed by a confluence of natural fury and human negligence, greed. The ghost ship mystery is replaced by a somber truth about the cost of America's industrial might. Key historical and thematic elements. The Great Lakes Storm of 1913, the backbone of the story. All details of the storm's power and suddenness should be historically accurate. American industrialization. The high-stakes, profit-driven environment that pushed captains and crews to take enormous risks. Technological revolution. The role of the new, unreliable wireless telegraphy, a great invention that created a false sense of security. The American heartland. The story is intrinsically an American one, rooted in the geography and industry of the Midwest, Minnesota, Michigan, Ohio. The preservation. Emphasize the unique nature of the cold, fresh water that preserves wrecks like time capsules, a powerful visual and factual detail.